Hi everyone, Slowly here, and in this video I want to bring a quick overview of the skill tree in Diablo 4. Now this is of course on the beta, things are subject to change, but in case you're playing the beta or you're just looking forward to seeing how it works, I'm going to explain it to you now. So the main thing you have, of course, you're starting with the core ability. Is your basic attack. Usually it generates a little bit of energy or whatever resource you have. Now as you get levels off through Renown, you will get more of these skill points. You can also unlock 3 extra skill points from Fracture Peaks, which means that all in total, you will get 15 more skill points from the Renown system. Now, of course, you start off with your basic abilities. These are extremely weak and they don't really offer that much. For the most part, try and look for anything that gives you energy regen of the resource you have, or some kind of buff, something that gives you vulnerability to enemies hit. Basically, look for these to buff you instead of looking for them for extra damage, as you don't really do damage anyway. The main thing you get to next is your core ability. Now, it's very important that you choose just one ability here and focus on that. You will not have enough ability points to have all of these or even multiple of these, so make sure to pick one. And you can of course always just refund all your points and try different builds later on, but it's very important you focus on one build at a time. So of course in this build here, from what I tested today, Twisting Blades was by far the best in the beta right now. It just seems to be doing the most damage and requires no legendaries at all. So into 1 point into Twisting Blades, then I went into the 2 nodes after, and then the rest of the points into Twisting Blade after as well, when I couldn't go further in the skill tree. Basically, as you are unlocking these skill trees, you will get more and more points, and you can see it's moving towards the next point. So you have to get points unlocking before you unlock the next section. So make sure you first get the 1 point here, then the 2 extra nodes that benefit your spell. Of course, they could be any of these spells, but take 1 point in the first node and then add 2 extra nodes to it. Then of course you can move on. And from here, you can, of course, I would usually take some utility once you get to this one called agility. But of course, I would go shadow step, go dash. As soon as you actually need even more points this time to unlock the next row, I need 3 points more. So of course, I will go 2 points into this, or 2 points in here, and then the 1 point. Basically, whatever you do, try and get at least one of these core abilities, and then just try and utilize and think of utility and providing buffs for this one ability. Now, this is also where you unlock the smaller nodes. For instance, this one gives you evade cooldown. This one gives you after knockback, you gain 5% crit chance. These are also pretty decent, but I'll recommend you wait until these for later. These are more like secondary, you start using after. Basically, once you get stuck to the point where you can't unlock further, that's when you can consider one of these. So I would go, for instance, 2 more points into Shadow Step, because these are really nice. Get some more cooldown for it. Then of course also, there's also one here with increased crit. Take that, boof, we now unlock the last row. I'll take a Dark Shroud. And as you can see, we now need 4 points for the next one. This is where you could consider some of these smaller nodes. Again, haven't really looked at them too much yet. It is just first day of the beta. But like I said before, it's very important that once you have these nodes and it requires more points, do not spend them in more core abilities. Use 1 core ability per time. This is also where you could put more points into here, right? You can see it says 1 out of 5 here. This is when you can put more points in to increase the overall damage of this rank. You can see it goes from 190 to 304 in the piercing damage. So there's a significant increase if you actually put points into this one as well. So let's get all the way up just because we can. We have plenty of points to spare. And we have now unlocked the next row here. These are the imbuement. Basically, these buffs other abilities. So first is this one, Shadow Imbuement. Imbue weapons with festering shadows. Your next imbuable skills deal shadow damage and infect enemies for 6 seconds. And if you hover over your other abilities, they will say imbuable or not. So you can see dash and shadow step, and of course also Twisting Blades are all imbuable. But our first basic spell here, Invigorant Strike, is not. You have to make sure if you use one of these, which I highly recommend, make sure you're casting 2 of these in the 6 seconds you have, to actually gain the bonus effect of this. So for instance, as I was leveling from my 1 to 25 in Rogue, I would have 1 point in Shadow Imbuement, and then also had the enhanced Shadow Imbuement and gave me 25% critical hit chance. This is fucking crazy. Then I also, after this, actually went, as you can see, we needed still more points to get the next one here. This is when you could consider some of these extra nodes. And since I was using Shadow Imbuement, I went into Shadow Crash for even more shadow damage. And then also this one here, Consuming Shadows. Each time you kill an enemy with shadow damage, you gain 10 energy. And of course, since Shadow Imbuement is a shadow spell, this actually gave me a ton of energy, which means I could of course cast more of my core ability with the Twisting Blades. So as you can see, all we're trying to do is make utility and synergy with our core ability. This is by far the biggest damage of your entire build, of course no matter what core ability you choose. So basically when you're looking through your entire skill tree, think of how to buff this, so either become stronger by having invulnerability, for instance up here, or how to get more energy, how to get more utility, how to get more mobility. Anything you can do to increase the damage or the uptime of your core ability the better. And of course, at level 24, I believe that you unlock the last row here, your ultimate. These are basically powerful cooldowns. As you can see, 60-second cooldown, 50-second cooldown, and 60 seconds. These are extremely powerful, so of course at least unlock these. And since I'm capped level 25, I of course can't really show more than this, but of course you would go further in, try and get these extra points as well. And of course this is also where you need to get the extra points, right? You would focus on one ultimate, and then you start going into the extra bonus points here. You get more points to consuming shadows, or you could go further up and get some more rapid gambits. Also go further up and get some close damage reduction. This will be really nice. Also siphon striking here with healing when you critical strike. If you're playing a melee build like Twisting Blades, this would be extremely good as well. I hope this gave you a quick little idea of how this system works. It can be kind of confusing at first, but as long as you have the core idea of just buffing your core ability and everything else is just utility or mobility, then you're going to be just fine. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also check out the video on the screen now, as I think you also really enjoyed that one if you want to see more Diablo 4 content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, folks.